Hello everyone, and this is part 1 of Let's Play Quest for Glory 4 Shadows of Darkness by Sierra Games Scott. Hopefully the music's good. I had to manipulate things slightly. One of my speakers on my laptop is directly above the fan, so there's a little bit of air rushing through. You might have heard in the last video. And so by trying to use the right speaker, hopefully that minimizes that. I did have to reconfigure the sound, however, to take that into account. The only downside for me is I can barely hear the sound, barely hear the music, but that's not as important because this is about my gameplay, except for the extent that it relates to how the quality of the LP. It's more about creating a good LP for you guys and getting something of decent quality on YouTube. So hopefully it works. If not, I'll take a look, and I guess you won't see this video if it's terrible. If it's acceptable but not great, I'll work on getting the sound balance a little bit better for future episodes. In any event, I don't want to do too much housekeeping this time because last time we really went through a lot. So as I mentioned to you, we will not be the fighter, we will not be the magic user, we will not be the paladin, who is not available as a choice to select. You had to earn them in a previous game or have a file that has them saved, which I believe actually may have come with the game initially. I'm not sure. One thing some people have mentioned is that this game has a lot of bugs. I mentioned that actually in my first video, the introductory video, but it is something that can seriously affect the gameplay. I did go ahead and run the patch on the files, and it seemed like a bunch of files were updated, so hopefully that will alleviate any of the issues we have. Hopefully we won't run into any major errors. And there is one problem with a certain event occurring at one point that won't occur in certain versions of the game. Hopefully the patch fixed that. This is 1.1, version 1.1, so hopefully it wasn't even an issue to begin with. This is not the CD version, which was really fouled up, but it is the disc version, and hopefully we won't run into those problems. So I have taken the precautions, and let's just hope and pray that we will not have any of the issues that earlier gamers had when this game first appeared, and that things will run smoothly. Alright, so as anyone who's played a Quest for Glory game before knows, this is the time where you can select what attributes you want to assign your character. You're usually given some at the beginning of the game in order to enhance a character's attributes that are most relevant to him. In the case, you can add things like magic is 0 now, and parry is 0. I don't know why you would do that for a thief, but if you want to have a magical thief, you could do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to stick to the conservative class order, and so we're going to have the thief try to build up skills that are relevant to him. So let's go ahead and assign ourselves a few extra points for picking locks and throwing, if we can. Okay, oh there we go. Alright, so we'll increase the acrobatic skills, we'll increase the lockpicking skills, we'll increase our throwing skills, and our climbing skills. I don't think you can change honor. Yeah, honor has to be earned, so you can't do that, and there's no real need for that for a thief. Let's go up for stealth. And go 5 there, 5 there. Give ourselves some more of that. Those things don't really matter that much, I think, for the thief. So we'll just stick to evenly distributing, I guess. Oops, am I stealing for myself? Oh, that's terrible. Oops. Alright, so we'll get that. Get up to 165. Alright, that's fair enough. Climbing, 210. Throwing. Lockpicking, stealth. We can always use some more lockpicking, I'm sure. Throwing. Yeah, it takes a while to build that up, so let's give us some more of that. All right, so that's pretty good for the thief. Sorry for any of the confusion. I was 100% sure how you adjusted those, but we are ready. So this is Scott, who will be a thief character, and these will be the starting attributes we have as we begin our adventure. So, without further ado, let's get into Shadows of Darkness. You awaken from nightmares of flying and falling. You find yourself in this strange place, the only illumination an eerie green glow. You've lost your weapons and the contents of your backpack somewhere during the journey. All you have are the clothes and the armor on your back. This leaves you with 4 burning questions. Where are you? How'd you get here? Who brought you here? And how in blazes can you get out of here? No, make that 5 burning questions. What city did your luggage end up in this time? Alright, so there is a little humor to the game. I did mention it's darker, but it is a little bit more muted. But a little comic relief isn't bad. My, Scott, you're looking heroic today. You're currently carrying... okay, nobody cares about that. That's just, if you want to check what the weight is, so, all we have... Somehow we didn't lose our money, though. It contains all the money you've left of you. 2 crowns. That's all. Which actually isn't the currency of Tarna, which is where we came from last time. Oops. You stumble and fall over the ancient petrified corpse. As you pick yourself up, you discover a dagger and some coins on the dried-out dead body. It isn't going to use them anymore, so you take them. Alright, so well played for us. Yes, I think Tarna had dinars still or something, or maybe they were crowns, I can't remember. No, they weren't, but there's no money changer in this game, so I guess for some reason you happen to have the Mordavian currency. We are in the land of Mordavia, by the way. We'll learn more about that as time progresses. Anyway, there's not a huge backstory here. If you recall, I did play long ago, maybe a couple of years ago now, Quest for Glory 3, and if you recall at the end, after everyone's gained together, a brief search reveals a piece of hard gray rock, which you take some coins, 3 crowns, and 3 kopecks. If you recall at the end, we had this big celebration, and at that time, we just get whisked away, and you sort of see a couple shadowy characters intervening, and that's pretty much how it ends, and this is where we end up. So, we'll have to... There's no real backstory, there's no great introduction like in 2 and 3, and so we have to make our way ourselves. And one of the things we'll find out this time is it's actually very interesting. One of the reasons I like it is we're no longer really this hero. We're no longer this admired character. It's really something. We're really somebody who is not welcome in this land, and we'll see more of that as we continue throughout the quest. So you need to get look at all 3 corpses, which we did. I guess you get to stumble for this one. This was probably the hardest one to find, but we did it, tripping over it. And you need all those items to progress to the next part. So, I think... Yeah, so you can create a spark, and I'm not sure if at this time we can try to light this on fire. It's not a good place to practice throwing, because I believe we need a torch. Strike the sparks off the flint using your dagger and the torch begins to burn, almost as if by magic. Yes, we do need that. I believe, otherwise you can't... Oh, well, that didn't help. Okay, well... You take the torch. Okay, so now we do it. We have this torch. I guess this comes into play later on, so hopefully that will be adequate for the lighting we need. So we're in this weird bone cave. And I believe we have to break that door open somehow. Well, let's proceed and see what takes place. The valve won't budge. If you had a bit more light, maybe you'd be able to see how to open it. Alright, so I think that's where a torch comes into play. Did your mother ever tell you not to play with matches? Well, the same rule applies to torches as well. Well, how much more light do you need? Put the torch back in the scone. Well, that wasn't helpful. Alright, why isn't the torch working for us? Take the torch. Do we need to... Oh, now the torch is lit, even though I'm pretty sure it had an animation of being lit beforehand. Alright, so that's how it works. Just one of Sierra's fun little puzzles. Yet, that is not the most egregious bug in the game, if that is a bug. Animate the torch. Sadly, there are more significant errors that have caused problems in the past, and hopefully will not cause problems for us in the future. So let's see if we can open this up. You force the sphincter open with your dagger and pass through. I'm not sure exactly what voice to use. You've made it into a large chamber. Stone valves like the one you just passed through apparently block 3 other passageways. There's a huge stone altar in the center of the room, and an exit to the south. As I was about to say, I'm not sure which voice to use for narration. I may slip into the sort of Roger Wilco Space Quest 4-1. There is a great, I forget, is it Alexander Scorby or somebody else? Somebody with a very deep voice, well-known voice. It does the narration in the CD version, which is great. But you're stuck with me for this LP. That didn't do anything. And while I have promised to narrate everything, if it's something silly like that or something small, I probably will not read every last little line of text. The altar feels strangely warm to your touch, but leaves just a deeper chill within you. So, we'll continue. I believe there's a corpse in here somewhere. So let's look. Oh, that's not fun. Alright, let's hopefully can take this stupid thing out without me dying. Alright, so that was that bitter battle. You were better than the batter. So those horrible things are called batters. You kick some butt too. Yes. So unfortunately, the thief. I turned the skill down, or the skill should be down. It should be really far down because I'm not an arcade player. The batter wasn't carrying anything valuable besides his body. He was really gross. I'm not an arcade player, so it's gonna be so unfortunately it'll be a bit of a challenge. But the scratches on the cave floor look deliberate. They must be a thief mark. Pretty much they mean just go this way. Yes. Well, let me finish the first thought. My first thought is the fighting is kind of annoying and kind of weird in this game, and it's not as easy to avoid things as it was for some of the other games. So the thief is supposed to try to evade conflict if he can and try to find a roundabout solution. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. The fighter fortunately has all sorts of great weapons and strength, so he can just plow through these things. But unfortunately, we're at a bit of a disadvantage. So there's one negative about playing the thief in this game. Anyway, the thief signs are a new invention in this game. I don't know if they come back in Quest for Glory 5. I'm not sure. I didn't really play that as a thief ever. But if you do play as a thief, the thief signs are supposed to tell you things, where to go, things like that. And actually in the manual, it tells you what some of the thief signs mean. They're not that important, not that helpful. We'll see later on where they have the most relevance, but it's a nice little feature, I guess, and makes this little game a little bit better for the thief than some of the previous installments, particularly Quest for Glory 3, which was, in my opinion, the weakest game overall, and definitely one of the weaker games for the thief character. Alright, so let's save. Hopefully there won't be any big delay here. Let's call it 1. Very creative of me, of course. And let's just move through this part expeditiously. There's not too much to it. We can up the speed a little bit. Test a rope. You cautiously test a rope before crossing. It feels as though it's firmly anchored on both ends of the chasm. Alright, so we will walk the tight rope. You are so exhausted everything hurts, better get some rest. Oh boy, let's hope we can make it through despite our exhaustion. Well, he is in pretty good shape if you can do that exhausted. You just barely made it across the pit. Yeah, that monster won't hurt you unless you come all the way to the edge over here. He can suck you down otherwise. It's really not a big deal. And every different character has a different way of dealing it. I think the fighter paladin just moves hand over hand, and I think the magic user can use some spell and a cloth or something to push him across. In any event, it's not a very difficult puzzle, regardless of your character class. Alright, so let's get out of here. And that you slipped through the mouth of the cave just in time to avoid being crushed by its closing jaws. Whew. Yeah, lucky fortune for us, just so happened. And there appears to be a young lady over there. Well, I guess the game will probably force us to converse with her. You're alive. Only one person has ever walked away from there before. Who are you? How'd you get here? There are so many questions I want to ask you. I have to get home quickly. It's so dangerous out at night in Mordavia. The town is due north of here. Be careful. There are many bad things wandering around. Good luck. Oh, by the way, my name is Katrina. I hope we meet again sometime. Farewell. Hey, how's that for a female voice? Well, a female voice that's kind of this mix of Scottish and Russian, and sounds like a guy doing it. But besides that, I think it's probably one of my better attempts. So we'll see if we can keep that up, and I won't slip into making her sound like Scrooge McDuck. The six-pointed symbol seems to pulse with energy and comes loose in your hands when you touch it. You have the feeling that you may need this sign, so you carefully store it in your pack. Indeed. Alright, so are we at a place to stop? Yeah, it's a bit shorter than maybe I'll do for some videos. I could probably go up to the full 20 minutes, or I can go as long as I want, I guess, but never would I really want to go over 20 minutes, but, this was good. Where we have 15 minutes, maybe a little bit less, 13 minutes maybe. In any event, let's stop for now. Katrina is a character that will be developed quite a bit throughout the game. We'll see what happens. If for those of you who played, of course you know what's going to happen, but we'll leave everyone else in suspense. And I apologize if I'm a little rusty with the LPs. I know I apologize every time. At one point I was doing all the LPs in a sequence, just one after each other, so I got into a good groove. Some of these later LPs I've been taking some time off in between, and so it takes a little bit while to set things up. But hopefully the music sounds good, hopefully the narration is smooth enough, and hopefully you're enjoying the game. That is just a taste of Quest for Glory. We are at the very, very beginning of Shadows of Darkness. Plenty more to come, plenty of really interesting things, and like I said, this could span 30, 40, maybe even the 50s of videos. A lot of dialogue, a lot of interesting things coming up. Anyway, I hope I'll see you again in Quest for Glory, Shadows of Darkness, Let's Play by Sierra Games Scott, Part 2. For the meantime, Sierra Games Scott, signing off.